Welcome to the Cincy Fan Talking with LP. And once again, it's yours truly, LP. What's up? What's up? What's up? Cheers. Hey, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the pod. You got a Cincy Fan Talking, and you know this LP. Happy to be here with y'all, chilling out and whatnot. Just enjoying summer. Just got back from vacay. Nice little trip. We're gonna get into that in a second, cause as with most LP road trips, a lot of good, a little bit of bad, just a little bit. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk a little bit about why I'm not really feeling coaching like I thought I would this upcoming year, because I feel like I could coach this year, but it's something I'm seeing with the youngins that's kind of got me going like I don't really know. We're gonna talk a little bit how I'm like not looking forward to school. It's already July and I'm already seeing the back to school sales, and it's making me itch. Like like I'm real life breaking out in hives when I jump into Meyer or Kroger and I see the binders for sale and I see the 19,000 pencils for 26 cents and oh the triggers. Yeesh. And we're gonna talk a little bit about what I'm watching on YouTube. It's a weird little mix, as always, of course, because you know how I do. So the fam and I, we gas up the rental and we dip to Ocean City, Maryland. It's one of those things where it's like we like going to beaches, but we hit Myrtle Beach so much. It feels like Myrtle Beach is set up to equip the lifestyle of the LP fam. It's it's laid out perfect. So we're like, let's not do Myrtle Beach again because we do it so much. We've done some other beach towns. We went to Virginia Beach. It was cool. It was pretty cool. It was a lot bigger than I thought it would be. I heard that Virginia Beach was like the most populated city in Virginia, which kind of threw me for a loop. But it was actually pretty cool. It was more to do than I thought there would be. Shout out to VA Beach, y'all. I also went to Atlantic City. If you're like a diehard member of the LP squad and you roll with the podcast, you've heard my AC story. We'll jump into it again at a later pod because I know some people, you just jumped on the LP train and you're like, what you talking about? What happened in Atlantic City? Let me tell you. Fights with homeless people, um, trying to travel to get food, and there were no. It's a whole thing. We'll get into that. So we hit Ocean City, Maryland. Now, honestly, I hadn't heard much about it. It's just one of those. It was actually mentioned to me by some other people, and they were like, you gotta try Ocean City. They have this, they have that, and I researched the place, and I'm like, this might work. Now, usually, my research is top tier because I'm a nerd, and I like. I'm the guy that when I know I'm going on a trip, I not only Google and find out information about the place, I Google the route and I pretend that I'm driving the route. I'm that guy. I take the cursor and I move it all the way along the route so I can see like the little nooks and crannies where the weird turns are. I'm that guy. I research how many people live in the place. I research who the mayor is, the county that I'm that nerd. I really like to travel, and low key, I like to drive. I feel like in my past life I was like a truck driver or something like that. I feel like that. I'm the guy that once I get behind the wheel, nobody else really has to worry about taking their turn. I take everybody's turn. I like to be the person that drives long distances. I feel like I'm not trying to be funny, but I just feel like I can rely on myself when I'm driving more than anybody else. Like I'm just sitting there looking at other people when they're driving, like, hmm, but I don't say nothing. But I just like driving long distances. It kind of like clears my head. Now watching the road and I'm thinking and whatnot, but I just like to do it. Like it feels cool to me. So I really have no problem driving 9, 10, 11 hours. It's cool. My big goal is to drive cross country. That's my goal. Like I really want to do that. I know I can't do that by myself. I will recruit wifey, but wifey is like the best passenger seat driver you can have. Like it's a perfect yin and yang. She doesn't like to drive long distances. I don't like to sit doing nothing for long distances. She doesn't go to sleep. She's consistently working the radio, working the Sirius XM. She's passing out the snacks to the kids and all that. She got all that covered. So all I gotta do is drive. It's perfect. And she's a travel nerd just like me. She was the kid that back in the day when we had like the big crinkle maps that she folded that out and she was like directing everybody like where they're going to next and stuff like that. That was her. And then I got the kids in the back seat. Now, normally you'll have kids that like fight and fuss and kick and stuff like that. These guys like driving long distances. I asked my 12-year-old why they like driving so much, why they like being in the car. And they're like, this is what she told me. She told me this verbatim. We just know that once we stop, you guys are going to buy us whatever we want. So we just sit and chill. And I'm like, damn, she's absolutely right. It's like no holds barred when we get inside of a rest stop or like a gas station with like all the food. They know they can just go ham. I want this, I want this. And since we driving and we tired and we don't really care, we go like, go ahead, get what you want. So they just load up. It's like a dream come true for them. Now my youngest is 2. I'm surprised that she held up so well. And then when I thought about it, I'm like, this is a dream come true for her too, because she's sipping on her little juicy juice drinks and then she's stealing chips from her sisters. And yeah, she really on it. This girl's a menace. So we have all of the ingredients for a solid trip. So, you driving and there were like 3 phases to the LP vacation trip to Ocean City. There was the drive there, which is its own experience. And then there was the actual trip, which was its own unique experience. And then there was the drive back, which was its own entity. And I'm going to attempt to break all this down in less than 7 minutes. Don't time me, because I might not hit that mark. So we're driving there, and this is kind of broken up between good, bad, and whatever. This is kind of the good part. Driving there was actually good. We're bored in the car, whatever. We're just chilling. And not like us pops up on Sirius XM, the edited version, of course. And we're listening to it. And the 12-year-old, her music tastes are quite eclectic. She'll go from Doechii to Sabrina Carpenter to Kendrick Lamar, like in one playlist. I'm like, impressive. So she's like, this is the best disc record ever. This is just crazy. It's the best. And me and the wife are looking at each other and we're like, top 10. We'll let it climb up there as time passes. But right now we'll say top 10. And the kid is like, well, are you serious? And we're like, look, because the wife and I, we agree. The best disc record ever created was South Bronx by Boogie Down Productions, KRS-One. And we tell her this. And the kid is like, nah, that don't even sound right. And we're like, nah, you gotta listen. And we got time. We're in the car. We're chilling. So we're like, no, first, you gotta hear why they made South Bronx. We're like, we're gonna give you a lesson, a tutorial, if you will. So first we play the bridges over, MC Shan and all them. So we play that, and they're like, the bridge is over, the bridge is over, bye bye, the bridge is over, And then 12-year old, she's like, okay. She's like, okay, I see. Okay. And we're like, they lost this battle. And she's like, that wasn't a bad song. We throw it on. And we're like, hey, if you're a hip hop aficionado like myself, you already know. Everybody in the car bobbing their head when this come on. And in the hood, because we're from South Bronx, South Bronx, South Bronx, South Bronx. And the 12-year-old's in the car, she get hurt life. She in there like, hey. And she's like, oh my God. She was like, this. She's like, you know what? I would move to New York just to say I'm from the Bronx, just so I could say South Bronx all the time. She's like, play it again. We play it again. I'm like, I told you, this is the joint. And she's like impressed. And I'm like, no Vaseline's number 2. And she's like, can I? Like, no. No, I'm not playing that for you. I'm like, at some point. Now, like I told y'all in the previous pod, at her age, I was deep into listening to Too Short and NWA. Like, I was on all that at age 10, 11, 12. That don't mean she's supposed to be. There were a couple of gaps that the parental units probably should have filled in. But, that's that Gen X stuff. We essentially raised ourselves. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, we were clothed and nourished by our parents, but they didn't watch us too good. I'm just saying. Like, there'll be no Vaseline listening to me. That's crazy. So, we're driving along. Now, in my research, to back it up a little bit, in my research, I found out, when you're going along with the little Google map and they show you where you're going, I'm looking and I'm like, there is a very long bridge here. Usually bridges aren't as long as what I'm looking at. I'm like, there's land, and then there's ocean. I'm like, why is this bridge so long? This must be a glitch in the system. So I found the name of the bridge, and I look it up. Y'all, the Chesapeake Bay Bridge is 4.3 miles long over the water. The bridge is 4.3 miles long. I'm not making this up. If you hit YouTube, you will see this bridge usually number 1 or 2 in the most dangerous bridges of America to cross. I don't really have a fear of heights. Not me, myself. The kids are in various stages of, I don't even know where the bridge is, to, ooh, something scary, let's see what happens, to, yeah, I'm not even gonna look down. It's a wrap. Those are the various stages of what we're talking about. And then you got the wife who's pretty tough, but at the same time, she's like, if it's too scary, I'm just not gonna look down. I'm like, I don't have a luxury. I have to look straight anyway. So this bridge is outside of Annapolis, Maryland, and it basically connects the shore of Maryland to the main part of Maryland. That's basically what it does. But the bridge is more than 4 miles long. There are no breakdown shoulders. So if you break down, you're just backing up traffic for miles and miles and miles. And on top of that, y'all, the lanes are super duper skinny. If you live in a Natty and you've crossed like the Brent Spence Bridge, you know, the double-decker bridge with the top and the bottom part, imagine that, but a little bit skinnier. And then imagine that with no or like a very small barrier on each side. You know, like the wall that, like, you know, is at the edge of the bridge. Imagine that being super duper little. That's what this bridge is. It's basically the Brent Spence Bridge that's shrunken down just a little bit more. Oh, let me add one more point for you. When the traffic gets really, really thick, they'll take, like if you're going eastbound, if somebody else is going westbound, they'll divert traffic so that they're on your side of the bridge. So you're crossing the bridge one way and traffic is coming at you the other way. I encourage you to Google this or hit YouTube so you can freak out when you see this. Now, I, I've driven in some crazy spots, in some ridiculous spots, y'all. Driving this was crazy. Now, on the way there, it was actually pretty cool. It's like 7:30 p.m. Traffic is minimal. The sun is shining. It's really all good. Now, I'm gripping the wheel like 10-2. The last time I drove 10-2, y'all, probably I was 19 when I got my license. That's the last time I remember driving 10-2. I'm usually 6. One hand on the bottom of the wheel, or maybe I'm like 11 with the left hand, close to the top. I'm like that, one of those two. I'm 10-2 the whole time. My brownish knuckles were like, you could see them turning red. I'm gripping with all my life, but I'm trying to play it cool because my 12-year-old's in the back seat like, oh my God, this is so cool. And my 2-year-old's about to go to sleep. And the 18-year-old in the back with autism, she's just sitting there like, yeah, this ain't cool. It's wild. We had the mother-in-law on the trip too. And she's like halfway between either snapping pictures or maybe, I don't know. But everybody's kind of looking like, this is kind of wild. We make it across the bridge. I immediately get back to like 11, like, whew. But I'm trying to keep it cool. That was wild. The way back was ridiculous. But we're going to talk about us in Ocean City. Beautiful view. We're like right with the ocean front balcony type setup. Like it's basically us, beach, Atlantic Ocean. You wake up. The wife woke up at like 5:30 every single morning because the sun was basically just shining in our face from the ocean. It was a beautiful setup. The city itself, don't go to Ocean City during the 4th of July. I'll say it like that. To make this long story kind of sort of short, traffic was ridiculous. And the only way to get places was to like go up the street and make a U-turn to like make it to different spots. So driving was wild. The boardwalk in Ocean City was fantastic. Probably one of the best boardwalks I've ever been to. Any food you can think of was there. They had mega benches to just sit and people watch or just chill out and eat your fried ice cream or whatever. It was a lot of stuff to do for the kids. Their amusement park was a 3 out of 10. I thought I would fly out some of the seats. They're playing like celebration of Donald Trump songs, and I'm like, yeah, this might not be the spot for us. But overall, the boardwalk was great. The city itself, it was just difficult to find meals to eat there. Like it was hard. There's only 2 bridges connecting Ocean City to not Ocean City. So bridge traffic was absolutely terrible. They only have one of everything. So basically you're eating at spots you've never heard of. You got to count on the locals to let you know if something's good. Overall, the beach was awesome. The 4th of July fireworks over the ocean were absolutely amazing. We're just sitting in awe on our balcony watching the show. So all of that was cool. But I would say for like the overall experience for the city, I'll probably give it like a 6. It just felt so crowded. Maybe if we went another week, it may feel a little bit better. But I heard it's crowded pretty much all summer long in Ocean City. So it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. It's one of those where it's like, I probably won't do it again, but it was cool for what it was. The ride back. We're going across that same bridge. Now, I thought about doing a detour and just like going around the bridge, but when I saw it added an extra hour and a half, I'm like, no, we're crossing this bridge. So we got to suck it up. Before we cross the bridge, rain, thunder, lightning, and then the bridge. The bridge is like, I'm not making this up, at least 100 or so feet off the in the air, at least. So it's high, and then the shoulders make it seem even higher because there are no railings for like protection. It's just this one small wall that goes across. I'm like, goodness gracious, does it have to rain right now? I got lucky because I found somebody in front of me and somebody behind me that were like, I'm going as slow as I feel. Like, I don't care about anybody else. And I'm like, I'm good because I'll do that with you. We'll go 40 across this bridge. I don't care. So we all did 40 across the bridge. It was still treacherous because it's now driving in Cincinnati means you got to deal with some mess. Now, I know traffic is worse in places like Atlanta. Driven that, it's ridiculous. Philadelphia traffic, that's probably some of the worst traffic I've ever seen. Philly traffic and DC traffic, absolutely awful. I mean, in DC, I was just getting over and praying. Like I was just hitting the turn signal to get over, and I'm just like, aggression, because I'm like, if I don't get aggressive, nobody's letting me in. So I'm like, I'm just being aggressive in DC. And then I got back to Cincinnati. I was still driving the same way. People looking at me like middle finger, like, like, my bad. DC driving, my bad. This traffic was like it was wild to be in. Like it was almost bumper to bumper, and then on top of that, you have traffic coming the other way at you. It was wild. I couldn't wait to get out that bridge, and I'm not really a scary driver at all. I'm like, once I get out this bridge, it's smooth sailing. Um, 10.5 hour trip. It it really didn't seem as bad on the way back because it never really does. But overall, if I'm grading the entire trip, you know, road trip part included, I probably bump it up to like a 7.5, 8, because driving with the fam is always cool. But the city itself could have been better. Man, we went to a place called the Meltdown. We up here like, yeah, this might be fire. Oh, they serve a patty melts. They serve different type of melts. Y'all, it was a Denny's. What? I'm like, what? It literally says the Meltdown on the menu. And we get in there, and I'm like, I'm looking at the GPS, like, hold on. It says the Meltdown is here, but this says Denny's. Am I tripping? And our kids in the back like, nope, it's a Denny's. Like, thanks. Thanks, youngin. Appreciate you. It was just little wild stuff like that just made you go like, what's going on here? But if you're thinking about doing Ocean City, I would say do it. You got to experience it for yourself. Don't go on the 4th of July. I will say that. I think we'd have had a different experience had we not gone on the 4th of July. It might have been a little bit different. We sat in so much traffic. It was weird. I'm like, why are we in so much traffic? So that's that. Now I got my little Ocean City story to tell too. Google that bridge. Like, I'm not joking around. Now, there's a Chesapeake Bay Bridge tunnel, you know, that goes through Virginia, goes to Virginia Beach, goes through Hampton, Virginia, and all of that. That's different. I've driven that too. The wife was more afraid of that. And I was like, this is cool because I'm driving. Oh, I'm underwater. Whoa. Like, I'm like, this is sick. I'm loving every bit of this. That's Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. I'm talking Chesapeake Bay Bridge. You'll see the difference as soon as you look at the pictures. So there was that. We got home and we've been chilling ever since. Um, Nothing but lazy days here in the LP household for real. A whole lot of playing games on my phone, chasing the 2 year old around, um, chauffeuring the 12-year old around. Letting her do her thing with all her buddies. Since school's starting up for them pretty soon, and just watching my 18-year old just relaxing, just kick it. Job well done. So I was thinking this was the year that I might just jump back into coaching, right? I had done it for a while at a lot of schools I was at. I didn't want to go past the middle school setting because I feel like the middle school setting is the age where you can get a kid and you can go like, we have to work on these fundamentals. We got to get you here so when you get to high school, you'll be where you want to be. But we got to work on your left hand. We got to work on you being able to stop and cut the right way. Like you just can't do your little lazy cuts. You have to like stop and cut hard. We have to talk about all that stuff. And I feel like sixth grade, seventh grade, even eighth grade is the perfect place to do that. And I feel like I just don't feel like that anymore, y'all. It's like maybe because I jumped out of the coaching game for a while, I'm thinking about jumping back in it. I don't know. But it just seems like more and more kids just want to blow off the fundamentals and go straight to, I'm crossing people up, I'm making them fall down, I'm hitting the three in their face. I don't know. It. I attribute all of this to the whole ring culture thing that's happening nowadays. Back in the day, I looked this up about Michael Jordan. I looked this up. I watched The Last Dance again and stuff like that. If you haven't seen The Last Dance, definitely check it out. There was that one year Michael Jordan broke his ankle or his foot. I think it was his foot. And he was out for like 63 games. And they wanted to bring Jordan back, but on like a minutes restriction. And Jordan's like, nah, man, forget that. I'm trying to get back out here. I'm trying to ball. Like, I'm trying to play basketball. And the team is like, we're not really going to go anywhere, so what's the point? And Jordan's like, nah, like, I'm here to play basketball. I want to win. It doesn't matter if we're not going to win anything. We got games that we could win. Like, forget tanking to win a lottery or something like that. Later for that. Like, if there's a game, I want to win it. That was Michael Jordan. Like and it wasn't just Michael Jordan. It was Scottie Pippen. It was Charles Barkley. It was Gary Payton. It was Sean Kemp. It was Karl Malone. It was John Stockton. It was all of them. They didn't miss games. It was rare that you saw a superstar miss a game, and they could be, had a little like middling record. They could be the best team or whatever, but they all wanted to play because it was very simple to them. There's a game, I want to beat the other team. And I feel like now, and it's not just with sports, y'all, it's with everything. Like I got kids in my class, we're playing Blook It. The little educational game where you can like answer questions and then beat other people with the best score or whatever. I got kids that'll miss the first three questions and then just randomly click because they're like, I can't win anyway. I'm like, you don't want to try to get the questions right? What's the point? I can't win. Huh? If I can't win, I don't want to play. I heard that so many times last year, y'all. If I can't win, I don't want to play. It's only one winner, right? One kid's going to win this game. Everybody else is going to lose. It's going to happen that way. It has to happen that way. Unless there's a tie or something like that. Everybody cannot win. Life doesn't work that way. I'm telling the kids this. Some of them are listening, and a lot of them are like, well, I don't care, forget it. I just wait till the next game. What if this the only game, champ? Well, then I just don't want to play because I can't win. He always win. Well, I'm like, dude, What's wrong with y'all? Like, and for me, it's one of those things that it kind of hit me hard because when I first started teaching, '08, '09, like '07, '06, it wasn't like that. And I'm looking in real time at kids that feel like winning is the only thing. And they're like, why should I play if I can't win? And I'm like this. Check it out. I'm playing against you and I don't know, checkers. You beating me. Like I'm going to lose. But what if I keep playing and I figure out something that you're doing that I can take advantage of in the next game? Oh, I would play then. But you can't do that because you quit. You can't figure that out because you quit. And the fellas in class like, oh, I'm like, you have to keep going because if you don't, you missing valuable information. It's about the experience. You learn from losing. You learn from failure. That's how we learn. As human beings, we are equipped to learn from failure. Now, I'm not saying that you can't learn from winning, but, and this is just speaking for me, I can remember every game that I coached and lost in. I can tell you what happened and what I did wrong that I fixed for the next game. I remember every loss, all of them. And if you out there listening, you played on one of my early teams, we lost a lot. Like we took some L's. But I learned from all of those L's and I'm like, okay, the last time I tried to do this with the squad, it didn't work out. So let me do something different. What if I would have quit after the second loss? What would I have learned? Nothing. And I feel like that's the problem with ring culture. Everybody is so obsessed with being winners that they're not understanding that it's the losses that make you what you are. It's the losses that made Jordan what Jordan is. It's the losses that made Kobe what Kobe was. It's the losses that made Shaq what Shaq was. And I feel like I like to call it the Instagram effect. I really do call it that. Like patent pending, I guess. Because of the Instagram effect, I probably stole that. I'm not gonna hold you up. Because of the Instagram effect, everybody only see the finished product. They don't see how the sausage is made. They only see the finished product. Because on Instagram, they don't see you working the filters and the angles. They don't see the 15 messed up pictures that you took. They don't see all that. All they see is that one winning picture. I feel like that's ring culture with us. Everybody wants to be the champion. And they don't understand that OKC's championship, their whole championship banner this year, it came from 3-4 years of taking L's. L after L after L. And I feel like it was some tanking involved. But they got a whole lot of pieces together. And they were like, you know what? We're not just going to get the best player. We're going to get the players that fit what we want to do. We're not just going to go after the hottest free agent available. We're going to chill. We're going to stack our chips and build a team. And that's what they did. They learned from losing. I'm teaching honors classes now at my school, and the most frustrating thing about the honors kids is that they don't want to fail. And I get it. They've succeeded for so long that it's like they can't fail because everybody's been telling them how smart they are. You're so smart. You're so smart. How do you get everything right all the time? You're so smart. You're the best. They hear this and they process it and they go like, oh, I can't fail. So when we're going over something difficult in my class, because I'm like, hey, honors kids, we're going to do some hard stuff in here. We're going over hard stuff, and I'm like, anybody want to give us a shot? No hands. Now, if you're an outsider, you're looking like, look at all these kids. They don't know how to do it. That's not it. They don't want to get it wrong. Because if they get it wrong, they feel like they failed. And I'm telling them, if you get it wrong, guess what? You get to learn from that and try again. What if I get it wrong again? You get to try again. But what if I get it wrong on the test? We're trying over and over and over now so you get it right on the test. That's the point. You're practicing now to be great later. So guess what happens if you don't practice now? You don't know how to do it later. This is the time to mess up. You get to mess up as much as you want to with no penalty. And they finally started understanding it, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna take a shot. Because if you take a shot, I can tell you what you did wrong. I can help you fix it. It took them a while to process this. You go through life when everybody telling you that you're absolutely great and you're the best, and then you see something you can't do, and you go like, ooh, shoot, I should know how to do this. No, you shouldn't. It's school. If you knew how to do everything, why would you be here? That's ring culture in the regular world. That's what it is. And that's what we're going through with athletics. We're going through it in school. It's everywhere. People are just scared to fail. That's what ring culture is. I need to be the best. There's only one team in athletics that can say they're the best every year. But does that mean everybody failed because they didn't win a ring? If we look at it like that, Dan Marino's a failure. Absolute failure. There's so many failures if we look at it like that. Charles Barkley, failure. Dang. It's a lot of failures. Karl Malone, failure. John Stockton, failure. Now, if we're looking at it like that, it's messed up, right? But if you take the ring culture glasses off and you start to go like, dang, John Stockton is the career leader in assists and steals. He has more assists and steals than anybody who's ever played the game of basketball. We still saying he failed? Are you sure about that? That's what I'm saying. You can't really just look at something like either you pass or you fail, either you win or you lose. That gray line is real, man. Like it really is. And I just need people to get that because ring culture is everywhere. And it's making me think twice about coaching, but I feel like it's one of those things where I have to do it to let kids know about that. We're all gonna lose. My uncle told me a long time ago, you're gonna do more losing than winning. Because when you win, it's sweeter. It's better. Even the people that are successful, they feel more than you know. That's what he told me. I remember that a lot. School's coming up in a little bit. I can make this simple. I can knock this out in like a minute or two. I ain't ready. I am not ready. Not at all. The funny thing is though, I know that I love teaching because the closer we get to school, the closer I'm kind of excited, the more I'm kind of excited to get back to it. Which is weird because once I'm in it, I can't wait for vacation again. But that first day of school rush is awesome to me. It still is. As a kid, I loved the first day of school. As a teacher, I love the first day of school. You know, you getting the kids in your class and you getting to know them and you get to hit them with like weird stuff first day, like little puzzles. And I mean, I think it's awesome. I'm at a great advantage this year because since I'm teaching honors classes, I basically get all the kids I had last year. They'll just be a year older. So I'm pumped up about that. She'll be a great year. I'm so happy that we don't have school on Mondays. Let me back it up. The kids don't have school on Mondays. We have professional development and then we get to grade papers and stuff like that. That's a W. I remember Chris Rock told a joke where he was like, as a woman dater, once you meet somebody that's at a different level, you don't go back down. And he was like, the first time you date somebody that has their own car, you're like, I will never date somebody without a car again. And then the first time you date somebody with their own apartment, you're like, I will never date somebody without their own apartment again. I feel like that's the level I'm at. I'm not teaching at a school that goes 5 days a week again. Like, I can't do it. I can't go back. This is awesome. Like it really is. And it's not the fact that the kids aren't there. Like I think it's 10, 15% that, but 85% of it is you get to catch up. You get to catch up on a whole lot of different things that you couldn't catch up on in the 5 day week. You get to grade papers. You actually get to sit down and look at your data and go like, okay, for this week, I got this group of kids that don't know how to do what we're doing. So we got a plan for them. I got kids right here that's bored because they know exactly what they're doing. They get themselves a guided learning project to kind of help push them to a higher level because they know what they're doing, but they need to know more. And then I can take this group right here. I mean, you actually get to do that. In a 5 day week, you're running with, like a chicken with your head cut off, man. You just trying to make it through. So I'm not going back. I'm just saying. But it's still July. So I'll keep living it up. Play my little computer games. Play my college football 26, which is actually a very good game. We'll talk more about that later. So before we head out, what I'm watching on YouTube, it's been a mix of a lot of different things. But I saw this one thing pop up on my feed, and it simply said announcers getting angry. And I'm like, huh? And it's like this 15-minute compilation of announcers just losing their stuff. Like just going off. And I'm like, wow, this is great. After you check out the bridges on YouTube that I was talking about, type in announcers getting angry and prepare to be. A lot of this stuff was just absolutely hilarious. You had this guy that was going off about how long it was taking them to start the baseball game. And then you had this one announcer going at becoming, it was one of our announcers with the Cincinnati Reds, becoming unhinged about the Cincinnati Reds giving up all of these runs. I mean, it was a delight. I love watching people crash out, especially people I don't know, which is why YouTube is like awesome to me because I can just watch people crash out. It's funny to me. I don't know why. Even more than that, I like to watch and analyze what happened to make them blow up. So I can kind of avoid that. Usually what happens is either people misunderstand something somebody said or somebody else cares a little bit too much. And then the other person's kind of feeding it. I've learned a while ago. When you see somebody amping up, just stop talking. I do that with the kids in class all the time. When I see them getting visibly upset, I just stop talking to them. I don't say nothing to them. And then what'll happen is they'll keep amping up and then they'll realize, yeah, I'm really just talking to myself. And they'll just immediately stop. I've only had one instance where the kid just kept getting more and more upset the less I talked. But that person was, what's the word? Different. That person was different. That person is a grown up now. I've actually seen this person a couple of times at their job, and I laugh about it with them because it's hilarious to remember this person as a kid just losing their mind for absolutely no reason. But that's the exception. Check out announcers getting angry. We'll say that for next week. Yeah, we'll say that the other part for next week. Because there's like a couple of things I've been kind of watching on YouTube, and it's like a mismatch of stuff. So, homework assignment. Check out that bridge. Just take a look at it. There's like a panoramic view of it, and just look at it. And imagine me looking at that bridge for the first time. Dude, I immediately started Googling different ways to go. I'm like, how do I get around this bridge? And then I saw it took like an hour and a half to get around. I'm like, nah. Man, yo, this bridge is so crazy. There are people posted up on each side of the bridge who make a living driving people across the bridge. I'm not making this up, y'all. Real talk. There are businesses whose job is to pick up people on one side of the bridge, take them across the bridge, and then take them back again. That's what they do all day. And they were like, we make a really good living off of this. I'm like, look, if I get down to it, I suck it up and do that. Like, I would do that. But I would have to drive across it a couple more times, though. So, that's y'all homework assignment, man. Hit me up on a Cincy fan talking on X, Twitter, or on Blue Sky, and just let me know what you thought about that bridge when you saw it. I had a few people come up to me and go like, "What was the big deal?" I had a lot of people come up to me like, "Dude, you really drove across that? You are nuts." Probably so. Hey man, it's time to roll out. That is the music. Stay blessed. Life is good. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm gonna check y'all out next week. Peace out.